Hello everyone, this is Chandanni with WeDharma.com. This evening I wanted to discuss this notion of the bare naked truth. So truth is something that is a constant. People may like to disagree, especially people like lawyers or philosophers, and say that truth may be relative, but we can agree for all realistic purposes that truth is a constant. And I'm speaking this evening about the truth of our experience, the truth of how we perceive the world, the truth of how we truly feel about things that affect us. And to live in authenticity is to allow yourself to be able to speak the bare naked truth. And I wanted to bring this discussion into our awareness today about, do we censor the truth when we express it? I've been having some conversations recently with people that have been making me aware of how the truth necessarily doesn't need to be exploited or disclosed if it doesn't take into consideration other people's feelings. And this notion of perhaps not disclosing the complete truth about how something is affecting you or how you perceive something in response to taking consideration somebody else's feelings is something that I've been reflecting on for the past few days, and I can't really seem to get it out of my heart and out of my mind, because it's created a kind of a wave inside of me, and kind of a balancing and toying this aspect of how could we live in complete authenticity if we have to refrain from truly expressing the truth of how we see things and how we feel about things in order to be perhaps considerate or conscious or caring or kind to another person's feelings. And today I was, reflecting on it, and I was thinking, if everybody took the responsibility of really working on themselves and never pointing the finger out, no matter what happens, the most catastrophic thing, the most destructive thing, the most horrific thing could happen to us, could happen to the world. And if we could find an avenue within us to never place blame on that which created the disaster or the situation or the negativity, and always find resolve within our own selves and expand but this is coming from like a true place, not like, oh, I'm just going to pretend that that person didn't affect me and I'm not mad at that person or that situation or that thing. No, if we could truly take the road of never pointing the finger and blaming the external for what happens to us or to the environment around us, and always try to come back to our own definition of how we can empower ourselves and deal with our own insecurities, which we all have. Saints, sinners, and everything in between. I always say we all have things to learn, and we're all expanding and growing if we're breathing and alive in this world. So to perhaps understand that if we can go through the journey of redefining and reevaluating and rediscovering the joy and the healing and the strength and the courage of our own personality, of our own ego, of our own sense of self, if we do that constantly and consistently, we find that it's very difficult. It becomes very, very hard to blame other people or constrain other people to modify behavior in order to perhaps respect you or be sensitive to you or be aware of you. All of a sudden, you have this force field around you that says, I am responsible for my own feelings, I'm responsible for my own insecurities, I'm responsible for the way I see the world, and nothing and nobody else is. It's quite a long road to venture onto, but I'm up for it. personally, and I encourage you to perhaps investigate what I've shared with you this evening, and let that sit in your heart and in your mind, and see how this world could perhaps shift and shape and change if we, each of us, really took the responsibility for absolutely everything into our own hands, into our own sense of awareness, and into our own physical embodiment of responsibility. This is Chandanni with WeDharma.com. Have a great evening. Speak to you soon.